The gods at Bungie have spoiled us this season compared to Season of the Hunt. If you have not picked up the Season of the Chosen pass yet, this bow is literally the only reason why you should get it. Ticuu's Divination has in the space of 2 to 3 days become my favourite exotic in the game. It is so bloody good. For those of you who have no clue what this weapon is, here is the lowdown. It is a solar energy bow that has 2 firing modes. Hip firing highlights targets, releasing the shot fires 3 arrows at the highlighted targets, which essentially stick to them. ADS fire. Shoot a single arrow that causes the sticky arrows to explode, causing a massive area of effect explosion. Precision hits with the ADS fire causes a stronger explosion, causing even more damage. How to use this gun effectively? Simple. Hip fire, highlight targets, release the shot to hit targets with casualty arrows, then aim down sights and shoot for the head at a target that has been hit by the casualty arrows to cause a massive explosion. Well, how can I put this? The gun is bloody nuts. There is no other explanation for it. It is an absolute monster for ad clearing and killing groups of ads holding hands. You can even hip fire mid-air and hit ads without even aiming at them. This season in particular also, bows are the anti-overload weapon of choice, and hip fire tracking can stun them too. It is very likely this gun will be viable in endgame content later in the season. Hell, even my partner, who hates Destiny, used it and was impressed. Bear in mind, the hip fire arrows don't do much damage, but the aim down sights follow-up more than compensates for it. Also, the tracking on this gun is nuts. You can track a target, literally turn 90 degrees and still hit the target. It's hilariously fun to use as you can potentially hit targets around corners. This bow also can track at quite long distances, making it easy to cause ads grouped up together in the distance to be decimated by casualty arrows. You may have noticed in the clips Warmind cells popping up from getting kills. There is a build to work on here too. For you veterans, you probably know how. But for the curious, I'll present this to you also. But for now, how does it compete in PvP? Let's take a look. It's good, yeah, but it's not great though. It's not very accurate, so it's not as easy to hit heads after hip firing, causing you to hit the body instead. Body shots with casualty arrows proc does not kill targets, so just make sure you aim for the head. If not, you're going to have some trouble mopping those enemies up. Maybe I'm just too used to Lemon Arc, but who knows. I wouldn't bother using Charge with Light mods and High Energy Fire mods with this gun. It is a little bit situational. It's good for game modes where players group up, like Control, but not for Trials or Survival. Conclusion, it's definitely a PvE gun, but fun in PvP nonetheless. Before we continue with the Warmind Cell build I want to show you, a request. Consider subscribing to my channel. I cover weapon reviews, new armor, raid guides, PvP and PvE builds, and much more in the future. Your viewership is enough, however, so thank you so far. Now, moving on to some more in-depth stuff that doesn't involve shooting fellow guardians. A Warmind Cell build. Okay, if you have seen my Hunter Warmind build video, you'll be familiar with Oathkeeper. Simply put, you can hold bow shots indefinitely with it. I'm also using bow reloader mods to improve knock time. I'm also using Charge with Light and High Energy Fire mods to improve damage output. I'm also running rocket launcher reserves and scavengers to pair with the solar rocket launcher Code Duello. I mentioned it's solar here for a reason. How to create Warmind cells with this loadout, you may be wondering. Say hello to Wrath of Rasputin. This mod basically gives you the chance to spawn Warmind cells with solar splash damage, which includes Ticuu and the rocket launcher. You can slot this on solar armor. In practice, get casualty, or is it casualty? Causality? I don't know, let me know in the comments if I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, get the arrows to proc on a target. The explosion, as long as it kills the target, has a chance to create a Warmind cell. We'll just use Code Dweller and Nuke instead. Okay, now the fun part. Warmind cells having babies. Rage of the Warmind, also a solar armor mod. Adds solar damage to the explosions of Warmind cells. This, alongside Wrath of Rasputin, can cause Warmind cell explosions to spawn even more cells. Armor bloody geddon. So, in practice, spawn a cell, shoot it till it blows, and any ads killed by this can spawn another cell. Pretty cool stuff. So far, we have covered the basics of the bow. What's its best at? Its performance and PvP, and its utility for Warmind cell builds. However, we haven't spoken about DPS numbers yet, because if you thought this gun was nuts already, I present to you its catalyst. After you've completed the quest for the catalyst, head over to your favourite ad farming area. A word of advice, don't hip fire for kills, it doesn't count. You need to shoot via aim down sights. Done properly, it can take up to an hour. It's a lot of kills. Its catalyst can be confusing to understand. It took me a couple of hours to figure it out. Scoring perfect draws with the bow and hitting a target affected by casualty arrows increases the damage of the arrows. This buff stacks up to 6 times, the final stack doing nearly double the amount of damage that the arrows with one stack do. Now, as an IT engineer, I need to know my numbers. Time to throw some at you. I'm conscious bigger names in the world of YouTube have already covered this, but I like doing my own testing. I ran into the Lost Sector Concealed Void on Europa to get my numbers. I've taken a screenshot of the math and this can be seen on screen. The left hand column describes the number of stacks of casualty arrows, the middle one describes the headshot damage done, and the final one describes the damage increase based on the 1 times buff. All content has its own difficulties, so we can't base damage off of numbers alone, but percentages give you a better idea for buffs that stack. During my testing, the explosion damage was always the same, 12,911, a 45% increase on the 1 stack arrow shot. I did not include this in the graphic. The rest is self-explanatory. The buff increase gives the arrow shot a 20% increase in damage up until the final stack, which does more than double the original stack in damage. This gun now has the potential to DPS at big numbers. For a primary weapon, it's incredible how strong it is. Very few exotics make their way into my character screen, as a no-brainer. But this gun, alongside Ace of Spades, yes, for you Cade, and Anarchy, in the space of a week, has made it. It can melt champions, especially overload ones, thanks to the seasonal anti-champion mod. It can wipe out ads with ease and can synergize with Warmind cell builds, an absolute S tier of a gun. The numbers I mentioned before don't even cover damage boost effects, such as high energy fire or stasis whisper of hedrons. I'll let you figure that out one for yourselves. Talking of stasis, super fun freezing ads and making them explode with the bow. Please, I insist, have a play with this thing. Go shoot it at Dreg at the EDZ, or do something, I don't know. You know what I mean. Anyhow, that is it. I hope you took away some tips on how to utilize this son of a gun, and some Warmind build ideas too. There is a lot of them out there, keep an eye out for them. How are you enjoying the new season so far? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't seen my more recent stuff, click on these links. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in a future video. Have a good day, Guardians.